Almost live.
Almost live. Now we're live.
Now we're live. What do you think, Drew? What did the Nuggets win?
The Nuggets, it wasn't just a win. It was
It was a
pull
statement
their
win.
pants down and embarrass them. I guess the game's still going on, but it's 114-97 right now. Not going to have to sweat out my +7 there, thankfully. The very entertaining game in Tulsa. Oral Roberts? Where's Oral Roberts? Middle of
It
Oklahoma
is in
somewhere?
Tulsa. They're
Oh,
both they're Tulsa crosstown rivalry. It's going to come down to the wire. Probably
it
feeling like
is.
they lose by one. I should have laid or I should have taken the 2 points.
I
Such
know it,
is
right? You
life.
played the money
It's
line? Yeah.
yeah, it's good. It's good to get one right off your chest right away. But in this one, we've got a obviously a 10-7 game as Washington scored late and then record scratch. I bet you're wondering how I ended up here. Yeah, I haven't seen one
9-9.
of these in a long time. It feels like last time I've seen them were in college, like
2019, maybe?
maybe. Oh, look at this guy. He took some Tulsa live too. Yeah, I
Ooh,
have
good
some.
job.
I only have 8.5. Good job to you. The hef.
Nice work.
Washington. All right, from your standpoint, it is tied.
Yeah.
These teams have each had
Yeah. If you
actually,
played, yeah,
Washington had one more drive.
yeah.
Do you feel like it shouldn't be tied?
Yeah, certified bad beat if you bet Washington first half money line. I'll give you the true accuracy win for that.
Probably.
Yeah. I also feel like 9-9, 18 points is a little less than what we should have ended up with here. Although at the same time, I don't really love the idea of getting in bed with an over right now. For Seattle Seahawks playing some very conservative, the conservative decision making, even at this point in the season when you're 3-7. And literally your back is against the wall if you have any hope of stealing the playoff spot here in a weak NFC. You can't afford to squander win probability, and yet they do it every single drive, it feels like. And I mean, the idea that they're going to have an easy to make third down at some point, probably not. They always intend to make these third downs and these goal line situations that much harder on their guy. And credit to Russell Wilson, he started a couple of nice balls in this game. I thought the defense made a pretty decent play on the one takeaway. Taylor Heineke, I think, his deep ball's been a little off. He had Taylor McLaurin wide open. He had Taylor McLaurin wide open on the on one of those deep routes, and he did not get an accurate ball to him, and that really cost them on that drive. But fundamentally, this is a competitive football game, and it's going to come down to the late stages here. So 23.5 is a low total.
I kind of do want to, based off the yardage from the first half, we should have about 4 more points. I'm not sure we should have had 24 points, though. Probably closer to 21, 22. It's a little higher than I'd hoped for. I did want the over pregame, and I stayed away from it, which is
should we buy some points then?
Looking good. Should we just buy 2? We'll buy them a couple days ago, and then we won't count it on the record.
Oh, okay.
So, no, I'm not 100% sure what to do with it. It feels like Seattle has really, they've made their living here off a couple of deep balls, like a couple, not only just like, oh, that's a good deep ball. It's like, oh, that was not a good deep ball, but it didn't matter because there's no one around him for, 15 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Like that one ball was ugly. That Russ threw. I don't think his hand feels very good at all. That was a horrible throw. It was such a lapse in coverage that it didn't matter. So,
and that happens with Washington. That's kind of their MO.
Yeah, and that's the other part of it. Washington has kind of moved with ease. They've had a little trouble. They got bailed out on a third down. They've been the beneficiary of a couple penalties, which has helped them move along. But at the same time, they're moving nicely. I like some of the play calling. The pass rush is getting to Heineke a little. He's been able to elude it a little. But yeah, their defense isn't playing up to snuff. I'm not super excited about backing Washington even with the points here.
Yeah. No, I think that's a reasonable read. I think we stick to the over. Yeah, I mean, we do have a little bit of a time clock in favor of Seattle. West Coast team on East Coast in prime time. their bodies are feeling a little bit closer to the peak of their performance than Washington's is. And in fact, if you made me say who's going to win, I'm probably lean Seattle, as negative as their decision making has been at times in this game. There's still room to go. There's still room to, get a little something done.
See what's got a hold of me there? The circadian rhythm.
Yeah, there's a little yeah. I think your Golden Hurricanes aren't going to make it. Sorry, man.
Oh yeah, no, they were down by 1 million. Which, what are you going to do?
Yeah,
0-1, probably call it a season. I'm probably done. I'm still tightening things up. Still working on things. But what are you going to do? The other team just fucking crushed from 3-point land. That's I know. That's a tough scene. Tulsa gave up 83 points. If you told me they scored, if you just told me they scored 77, I'd have been feeling probably pretty good about life. But yeah, the defense didn't show up down there in Oklahoma today. What are the odds of Pete Carroll running the ball on 2nd and 8? Feel like that's happened 5 times tonight. You're probably right about that. That's probably
how about this? You want a couple crazy stats?
I love a crazy stat.
Washington, 0 penalties accepted so far.
I saw that. Yeah, it's 4-0.
4 for Seattle. Washington, 21 minutes, 30 seconds time of possession to Seattle's 8. I think Seattle's defense may lose a little bit of steam. Yeah, they may lose.
They're hitting hard. I mentioned that to somebody in chat. I said they stink and they're giving up some bad runs here. But man, it feels like, oh man, that guy squirmed through for like 8 yards. It looks like it's going for 15, and then someone comes out of nowhere and pops him. There's been some good form tackles at the end. Like it's like a nice ending to a shitty deal. Like, oh man, you shouldn't have given up 7 yards on that play, but it was a really nice tackle at the end. Yeah. So yeah, probably that much time on the field isn't going to be great for this defense. Yeah, let's just go with the over.
Okay,
I do feel like we should be getting more points here. I'm going to look for maybe a better price.
Do you think there's a 23 out there? Because for sure, if there's a goal to go situation and it's 4th and goal, we know Pete Carroll's kicking the field goal.
Need it. Got to have it. Need those 3 points. Dude, take the points. I love it when they miss one. I like a short field goal where they should have gone for it, and then Eric will tweet out, take the points. They're free.
They're free, of course. I can't find better than 23.5 minus 105.
That's what I have right now.
Decent stake on this, so that's fine. Okay. It is what it is. I don't expect to see the Seattle Seahawks running game get going anytime soon. Are you surprised that Seattle hasn't mixed any trickery into their playbook for this game? They're really just going to try to get it done with vanilla?
They're getting 2 yards per rush, which is not quite you're not quite what do you want to say? Who was it? Cleveland level? Cleveland had 2.3, 2.4 the other day. So I mean, do you just abandon the run? Probably.
Man, I really didn't realize how lopsided this was so far. The Washington has rode 42 plays to Seattle's 18.
Well, and that you had a couple big ones, like on the Seattle's initial scoring drive there. That long one to Lockett, and then there was another one. Man, maybe that was a punt. The one on the fumble. There was a nice Lockett pass, and then the next one was, obviously the Collins fumble. They should maybe that helps them. If they get Collins in the doghouse, they just won't run the ball at all ever again. We can just call it a day.
Yeah, okay, that would be nice. Although I don't know that I need to see a ton more of DJ Dallas.
No, both of them. Put them both in the doghouse.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would love to see this offense open up. Is DK Metcalf playing?
I believe he dressed.
Ooh, put a pin in that Suns Warriors tomorrow night question. Let's come back to that when it's.
We'll get to that in overtime. He does not have a target though.
How weird, huh?
He's not on the stat sheet. Run blocking, great, I'm sure though. Bobby Wagner having a big
very
day.
Strong guy. Yeah, very strong guy.
Look at this. Hector coming in with the stats. Seattle's averaged 55 plays a game and allowed 72. It's par for the course.
That's amazing. Wow, man.
Air die for DK.
Seattle got flexed out of primetime this week. I think we can all thank the primetime flexing gods for that. They were Seattle San Fran was going to be your Sunday Night Football game. Instead, we get kind of an interesting one. We get to see what Andy Reid has up his sleeve off of a bye week, where he traditionally does well against the spread.
Maybe I should
At least I've been
live
told.
bet basketball. It's a lot easier.
Live betting is very fun.
Let's go Kraken.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's not overtime just yet.
All right, I get what the line was. We saw one of these teams is favored by 2.5 points, 3 at some places. The market is being what the market is. That's a betting market. It's, a mean projection, a median projection, however you want to say it. It's a projection that they think that they'll, be able to not get killed on. Who do you think actually wins this game, Drew? Do you think wearing down the Seattle defense is going to be enough to get some points later? Do we see the red zone horridness? We can't have the red zone. We have the over. We can't have this red zone horridness.
It's tough, man. I lean Washington, but the time I lean Washington, but the time change things in my head a little bit, I'll be honest with you. I don't think that's a non-trivial factor, that Seattle's body clocks are a little bit more well attuned to this particular time circumstance. So what do you think? What's your call?
I'm getting hell from the what do you want to call it? The actuary crowd.
Oh, really?
I just kind of yada over the difference between our measures of central tendency.
Yeah,
I just said mean, median, whatever. Like, sorry, like it's not a big actuary crowd. I'm sure it'll be better in the next.
I prefer median and 50th percentile for, in general, when you're talking about central tendencies. Means can be skewed by long tails in either direction, and knowing the difference between the mean and the median is valuable information. If they diverge, that's interesting. Ultimately, I'd be interesting to know.
We should do a poll. What is your favorite measure of central tendency? I'm a mode guy. I'm not ashamed of it.
Andy Modal.
Modal Andy.
Yeah, Modal Andy. Yeah, you yada over the difference.
Oh, look at Dave Grand here. Underrated.
Oh, he's with you. Mode guy. Yada.
Yeah, are we some people are mentioning the kicker. Is he hurt?
Sly.
He looked like he got
hurt.
Dinged up a little there, and then his cleat caught on the kickoff, and he kind of fell very funny. So I don't know if maybe it'd be better if they didn't have a kicker.
I believe Andy does have close connections to the Joey Sly hive, so maybe Andy can reach out to the Joey Sly hive and find out what kind of shape he's in for the second half.
I missed that account. Here. I wonder if Joey actually has that now. He limped off, says T-Hold.
See, so okay, now does that help? Or I think that helps an over 23.5 because we want field goals, not touchdowns. I mean, touchdowns, not field goals here.
Yeah, they'll be aggressive.
Yeah, a little bit more aggressively in the red zone, and I think we're in good shape there. Yeah, he pulled a hammy.
Maybe we go for 2. Pulled a hammy.
Ooh, that's not good if you're a kicker.
No, you need your hamstrings. The Joey Slive. Ron, it's Ron. Remember we decided it wasn't Riverboat Ron, it was Random Ass Ron.
Yeah. That's right.
He just did it enough times at the right spots by accident that they turned him into Riverboat Ron. Questionable return. Oh, I just got my alert from the Fantasy Life app. I actually love that. Like on a Sunday, not to just pimp out one of our properties, but like I hate mobile alerts. I fucking hate them for almost everything, but I leave those on because it just like all the injury news. I don't have to go hunt it down on Twitter. It just kind of pops up and I read through them. So, all right. Who takes the Notre Dame job? Fickle Freeman or Fleck? A lot of people are saying PJ Fleck moving down to South Bend. I made that rumor up, but I'd like to get it. I'd like to get it moving.
I'm going to go with our resident college football expert, Dan, and say Luke Fickell is the right answer. But that's speculative because I really could not tell you one way or the other.
Oh, Dave, we're gonna have some pretty cool updates and bet spurts. We have a whole development team pumping out a really big update for the beginning of the year.
Nice.
Dave Larson leads Crystal Palace. Both teams to score and over 2.5. That's prop / parlay.
Alex, that's the Alex Classic. My old friend from SBR, Alex, who is an outstanding European soccer handicapper, used to play the Alex Classic all the time. The real old school fans will know that one.
Durso is stumping for Era Parsegian. Mike, are you sitting down? I have bad news. I'm not even gonna go check if he's still alive. I'm 98% sure he's no longer with us. He would have been. Oh man, that guy lived through the Great Depression.
He got canceled.
Spurrier.
Parsegian was canceled. So
was he?
Yeah.
Because he didn't play Rudy.
It was late it was in his early 90s, but it wasn't pretty. I don't want to relive it.
Oh, he say some shit. I mean, people in their 90s are gonna do that.
He passed away in August of 2017 at age 94. He currently buried in Cedar Grove Cemetery in Notre Dame, Indiana. I assume it's pronounced Notre Dame, right?
I don't think so. Are the teachers really priests like in Rudy? That would make me uncomfortable. I don't know. It's like going to a Catholic school. I don't really have hot college takes. I think it's probably a good job. The LSU job's probably good and it probably paid a lot. And you don't have to worry about a lot of people had brought this up to the grades thing. I will not besmirch the name of any university, but Louisiana State University's entrance standards are not as high as that of, say, Notre Dame or Stanford. So you can get away with recruiting some kids that maybe didn't do so well on the tests.
They accept students who didn't come to school to play no college.
I didn't play no college.
Yeah.
Look at this. Yeah, Saban's not going to Blacksburg. I was kidding.
What was the actual quote there? From was it?
I didn't come to play.
Right.
I didn't come here to play no school.
Yeah, I didn't come to play school.
Urban Meyer back to college doesn't feel that far fetched. Now that he's back in, he did the
Heat surely tuned down on that simmering fire.
People aren't mad at him anymore. Urban is too toxic for Notre Dame.
Oh, fumble. Did they recover it? They did. Washington football team already playing a little loose.
A little muff.
There was a lot of muff fumbles on punts this week. Did you notice that? What is that? What was that? Why was it a week of
different? They use different balls every 4 weeks. They go with different balls. So these are the different ones. Urban too toxic for Notre Dame.
Are you being serious?
No, I made that up.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to get in.
That seemed extremely plausible.
I'm trying to get in a priest joke here. You're killing it. Oh, okay. I don't even know what I was going to say. Basically, something about the Catholic Church is horrible.
Yeah. Okay.
And then yes, the hurricane jokes are just rampant. It's very windy sometimes down there. So hopefully Brian Kelly has learned his lesson. We play it safe. Yeah. I trade all my extra presents for BJ Flack to go to Notre Dame. Urban will have a panic attack. Notre Dame is a Catholic school. Urban Meyer is out. Adultery is a mortal sin. That's fair. But what if you have an open relationship?
I'm going to have to consult my spiritual guideline on that.
Look at this. Dirtiness coming out of Australia.
Thanks, a lot of muffs. Yeah.
There were. I mean, now that you mentioned it, I hadn't really thought about that, but there were quite a few muff punts. You see some guys diving face first into those
muffs. Yeah.
Muffs.
Mm-hmm.
I've
seen several of them. Yeah. All right. Let's talk a little NBA.
Okay. I got a few minutes.
Think?
I got to run here soon. I don't really.
I have conflicting opinions about the game of the year, which tips off tomorrow on TNT. Game, I would say it's not going to ultimately be the game of the year, but it's definitely the game of the early part of the season.
It's the game of the November.
The 18-2 Warriors take on the 17-3 Suns. Not sure if you know this, Andy, but the Suns are streaking. They are streaking like motherfuckers right now.
Possible Western Conference Finals preview.
I mean, at this point, you look across the West, and other than the Jazz, and the Jazz haven't ever proven to be a difficult playoff out, I'm not sure who you look at and say can challenge either of these two in a best-of-7 series, although I have some reservations still about how the Warriors game translates still to a best-of-7 series. In general, they're getting by with a lot of decently lucky stuff. Their schedule so far this season hasn't been especially tough. Like what the Suns just did in the last week, going
what is
through
this video where you got hit?
I don't know.
Oh, that's where you got hit
the
at
scar.
practice.
No.
Yeah.
Like the Suns' accomplishments over the last week have been more impressive, really, than anything that I've seen the Warriors do so far this season. The Warriors have beaten up on a lot of pretty bottom feeding teams outside of their very impressive win against the Nets. But then the Suns just did basically the same thing, handling the Nets 4 quarters, no problem. And that has me questioning how good are the Nets at even. They might be way below market in terms of actual realistically winning the title, especially considering that they're now losing more pieces as Joe Harris looks like he'll be out for extended time, potentially the rest of the season. I didn't totally catch all of the details of that report, but he's having surgery. Blake Griffin's performance has been so poor that he's gotten demoted. He may not be long for the team. They're going to need to make a realistically.
Remember he dunked over that car though?
Yeah, in the fixed dunk contest.
Yeah, I had McGee in that. So I hate him. I hate him so much. I think I've only bet on one dunk test, like maybe ever, and it was that one. I felt great about it. Then they drive a goddamn Kia.
Harris is only out 4 to 5 weeks. Okay.
And that's before Kias were even good. Like the Kias were very poor cars back then. I will not besmirch the name of any car company because they've come a long way and they're actually a halfway quality vehicle, but they were really bad when they first came to America.
Yeah. As far to answer Holt's question, what's the word on Jazz status? As far as I know, there's no designated timetable for his return, but based on what I saw, I would expect 1 to 2 weeks, probably closer to 2 weeks. Memphis doesn't really have to sweat right now. I think once they kind of get into their groove as they get later into the season, they're going to be solidly in the 6 that don't have to play their way in. Now that could change. Like if they struggle while he's gone, that could be bad. Gab thinks Jazz out 4-ish weeks. Okay, interesting. I hadn't heard exactly how long that's going to be, and I'm making some assumptions based on how serious it looked. I'm gonna
have to go back and look at Tim's comments. He said he was trying to get my goat.
Speaking of going back up and looking, your guy Noops nailed that Everett first touchdown today.
Gerald
Everett was 18-1. Was that his first touchdown of the season? And he got it tonight on 18-1?
I think it was his first one ever this year.
He may have had a couple, but it wasn't a ton.
No. Just a thing he likes to do. He likes to look at tight ends.
Oh.
It happens a lot. It is a tight end league, and we're just living in it. I did like how the Washington football fan just shoved him.
That was awesome. I don't know why he tried to jump into the Redskins fans, but that was a great reaction.
I wonder if he's in trouble for that. That was only his second touchdown. He caught a touchdown in week 1, hasn't had one since. So good job, Noopsy. And Washington is driving here. And again, just a great form tackle by big old 56 Brooks. Beautiful. There.
Yeah, it was a beauty.
Always 1 yard short of the sticks. There's been so many 3rd and 1s. Most passionate fans. I suppose Lipscomb here, if he's a VTech fan, I'm guessing he's a Washington fan. Yeah, you know what? You had, I don't know how old you are. You had the Doug Williams years and the Theismann years.
And the Rippon years.
and the Rippon years. Those all happened like 3 years in a row, I think.
Mark Brunell took that team to the playoffs, man. We'll not forget that. Mark Brunell had the distinction of the lowest ever passing yards in a playoff win in the NFL when Washington beat Tampa. Yeah.
I feel like the defense being on the field thing isn't getting any better. Seattle didn't have the ball for very long, and now Washington's been driving for 4 minutes again, a couple inches at a time here.
Do you want to guess what the current play differential is?
It is 22.
21 to 50. 29. 29 is the delta in favor of Washington. Goodness. Amazing, man. Really good game materializing here in Chicago. A lot of back and forth action there. I say good game. It's going to come. The cover is going to come down to the end of game here. Nuggets did hold on and win by 9. Weird that the market did not react much to the Nurkic news. I mean, the Jokic news. Did you see that? Like, first news was Jimmy, no hero, and they got bet down to 3, and then Jokic declares in, which was a surprise. There was speculation, obviously, but it was a surprise, and the number only moved to 2. So, not sure what that was all about.
A lot of sharp money came in against the Hornets today, I guess. Just saying that because Gav.
Oh.
I think DB was on him too. But yeah, we're sitting here second and goal from the 10. Excited for who's gonna kick this field goal. Who?
Well, the first pass by Heineke was a real question mark. I'm not sure what the plan was there. I guess better than getting sacked.
We shit on Derek Carr for this, so we should probably do the same with Kirk Cousins, because it wasn't a throwaway, but on 4th and goal like that, you can't throw the ball that high. Like, it was an uncatchable ball, and
we're on the board.
That bothered me. All right, McKissick, baby.
McKissick's he's nice in the red zone. I don't know why they messed around with Antonio Gibson in the red zone. I know that probably makes fantasy players insane, but McKissick has a nose. McKissick has a nose for the end zone.
Their snap counts are like, I mean, they're both on the field like 48% of the time.
Oh, we didn't even factor that in.
What, that they're going to go for 2 every time? Yeah. We didn't have time. Somebody told us about the kicker too late. Honestly, I blame the chat.
No, it's on.
We're just going to need 4 touchdowns to get to 24.
Especially because we talked about it as we were prepping. We were talking about it, and then we forgot.
Yeah, the Joey Slye injury. Yeah, while we were waiting for it, we were laughing about Joey Slye like falling down, and then didn't even think, oh, we might have an injured kicker for the second half. You know what it is. Oh, we got a 2-pointer.
It succeeded.
Both teams have a 2-pointer now.
Was that a direct snap to Antonio Gibson that they pretended like was a fake handoff? That was a very weird play. I have to watch the replay of that. That was a weird one.
McKissick took the ball and gave it to Gibson, I think.
Yeah, OPOY Taylor makes a ton of sense to me. If what's the price on that?
That's true.
Isn't that in the popular domain? In the public domain? That riff?
Yeah, it's like
Yakety Sax. Isn't Yakety Sax in like the public?
I was trying to do Yakety Sax.
If you're doing mouth organ, it probably is.
I can't do Yakety Sax. All right, I'm going to bed. The rest of these points will just come, I'm sure. So, hey, we'll catch you Wednesday for the Super Show. I've never called it that before. I don't think I'm ever going to call it again. But it is our biggest show of the year. And by year, I mean week. It is the Wednesday show where we talk about all the games. We'll go through it. We'll make some bets. We'll try to bring some points. We'll talk some football. I'll talk some hoops tomorrow morning with Noops. Hoops with Noops. Why? We we never done a segment called Hoops with Noobs. What is going on? I'm coming up with a million ideas. I'm maybe microdosing right now, guys. I'm going to check you
Congratulations
tomorrow.
on putting together that hoops and noops are rhyming words. Very proud of you, Andy.
Thanks a lot. Hit the thumbs up.